So let's look at the movement of the complex number on the diagram. So let's see. For complex numbers, w, x, y, and z are represented by dots, and we can see there is 4 of them on the Argand diagram on the right. They satisfy the following. So this is the information that we know about those 4 dots. Use this information to write w, x, y, and z next to the correct complex number on the diagram. Use each letter only once. Okay, so the first part, the letter y or the dot that represent y will be 2 multiplied by the complex number. What does that mean? Where I'm going to have that complex number, if I multiply that by 2, my distance from that complex number to the origin to that point 0, 0 will be twice as long. Okay, so in this case, if I'm looking at the dots, the position the position will change, but when we are talking about length, so these and these, if I'm taking that and I move again the same distance on the same line, I'm going to get twice as far from the origin. Therefore, this value here will be z, and this value here will be 2z, which is y. Now, the next as well that is easier to figure it out, when we are multiplying complex number by I, what happened, we move 90 degrees anti-clockwise, and we are creating 90 degrees angle. Yeah, so if I'm thinking about my z numbers, this one here, that what creates 90-degree angle and move anti-clockwise. So that's my multiplication by I, and therefore that's the W one. So that leaves me with the last one is X, basically when I am having minus Z. So let's think about a specific example. Let's say that this number here, I'm just making that up. Let's say that value here is 3 and this value here is 1. So let's say the original complex number therefore is 1 plus 3i. Now, minus in front of it, that means if I took my complex number and multiply by minus 1, therefore I'm going to get minus 1 minus 3i. So the same values, but exactly opposite, isn't it? 1 become minus 1, 3 become minus 3. So that's the reason why that's when I'm having exactly the same, just the opposite. That distance here, that's the distance here, and then this distance here for the real value is the same here. So that's my multiplication basically by minus 1, my complex number. Like I'm saying, that was a little bit more difficult, but that's the common one, that's the movement that very often shows up on your exam.